No self-esteem, no success. Hi, my name is Biodun or Mosako. I'm a cognitive psychologist. In this short presentation, I want to show you the importance of self-esteem to our children's success. This is a video every parent must watch. So, please share this video to as many parents as you can. Now, let's start. Your child's belief about his ability is critical to his success in academics and in life. Studies have shown that successful students have an unfiltered belief about their ability and what they can achieve. Belief is everything. If a child believes he can, he can. If a child believes he cannot, I am sorry, he will never be able to. The fact is that belief is rooted in high self-esteem. So, if we really want to equip our children with the necessary tools to become successful in school and in life, then we must nurture in them a high sense of self-esteem. What is self-esteem, and why is it such a crucial factor to our children's success, happiness, and well-being? Self-esteem is defined as a feeling of being lovable and capable. It's a self-image or perception a child has about himself or herself. What a child believes about himself and his or her ability, this is what we refer to as self-esteem. Generally, children who feel good about themselves produce good results. They are usually the problem solvers. They are not troublemakers. Children who have high self-esteem feel they are loved by others, and at the same time, they feel a high level of confidence in their own abilities. They have the "I can do it" attitude. When children feel they are loved and have learned to love themselves, they also want the very best for themselves. They will tend to set high goals, have a strong sense of pride, and would dare to participate and make mistakes. At the same time, when adopting the "I can do it" attitude, they will have the confidence to bring out the best in themselves. The other side of the coin is the low self-esteem. Having low self-esteem can be extremely detrimental to a child's ability to achieve for now and for the future. When children have low self-esteem, they will feel a low sense of self-worth, and you will hear them say things like, "I hate myself, I'm lousy, I don't deserve to succeed." They will feel a lack of love and acceptance from people around them. Nobody loves me, no one cares about me, people hate me. When you see children saying things or feeling this way, you know that they are suffering from low self-esteem. They will have little or no confidence in their own abilities because they believe that their past mistakes and failures mean that they are forever doomed to failure. "I cannot do it. I'm not good enough." These are the things you will hear children that have low self-esteem say. As a result, they will tend to exhibit the following behaviors. 1. They will dare not set any goal for themselves. As they don't believe that they deserve or can succeed, they will keep to themselves and will not like to participate in anything competitive for fear of failing and making mistakes. Children with low self-esteem tend to be easily influenced by their peers as they constantly need to be acknowledged and validated by others. Children with low self-esteem, they have a tendency to be highly sensitive and defensive as they do not feel comfortable with themselves. They may even exhibit an indifferent or "I don't care" attitude because they feel helpless and powerless to change things they don't like. They feel they have no control over their lives, so they would rather go into a state of denial. Children with low self-esteem have the tendency to insult or put others down. If your child or teenager exhibits a number of these characteristics, then there is a high possibility that your child has a low self-esteem problem. How do children develop low self-image of themselves? Well, Most children that have low self-esteem developed a poor self-image, a negative perception about themselves and their ability by simply making generalization of their past behaviors and results. For example, if a child keeps getting poor grades, he may start to develop a negative self-image that he is stupid. And when this continues for some time, the child will lose faith in his own ability. Whereas the problem is that the child is not using the right learning strategy or simply not putting in enough effort. At the same time, when our children start making comparisons between themselves and other kids who may be slimmer, prettier, taller, more popular, stronger, and those who get better grades in their class, they could start labeling themselves as being inferior to others. The truth is that all children have their own unique strengths, talents, and the potential to be successful if they can put their minds to it. However, when they choose to focus only on their weaknesses and start putting themselves down, they will begin to develop low self-esteem. Parents can make a huge difference in how lovable and capable our kids feel about themselves. However, most of the time, it is the parent that causes these children to develop low self-esteem. You may ask me how, and I'll tell you. Kids develop low self-esteem when parents do the following things. 1. Constantly focusing on their faults rather than their strengths and achievements. Parents, I want you to know that every child has his own faults as well as strengths and achievements. What you choose to focus upon will determine a lot of things about your child's belief about himself. The reason some children have developed low self-esteem is because their parents choose to focus on their faults and constantly reminding them of it. No words of praise or encouragement are mentioned when they do the right things, but when they do not perform up to expectation, their parents will remind them of it and how they have been failing all their lives. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we should ignore our children's faults. In fact, we need to give them immediate feedback about what they need to improve on, but in a nurturing way. At the same time, we also need to remind them what they are great about and what is great about them. It cannot be overemphasized. There are always good points and flaws in every child, even in ourselves too. If we choose to focus on what is good about them, in no time we will bring out the best in our children. However, if we keep focusing on what's bad about them, we will bring out the worst in them. Another way in which parents develop low self-esteem in our children is by criticizing, condemning, and giving them labels. What makes it worse is when parents criticize, condemn, and even label a child for our mistakes. There you go again. You are so forgetful. You are always so irresponsible. What's wrong with you? This is not the most effective way of telling our children their mistakes. Criticizing them like this will make them feel rejected, useless, and develop into the label that is being reinforced. So, the more you remind your child that she is lazy, the more she will see herself as a lazy kid and behave consistently with that self-image. Another way parents grow self-esteem in their children is by putting down their achievements. One of the greatest boosts to a child's self-esteem is when he is praised or acknowledged by others, especially in front of his parents. Let me ask you a question here, and I want you to be honest about it. If someone were to pass a comment to your child in front of you, how do you usually respond to it? For example, someone says to you, "I heard that your son did well in his WAEC exam. He must be very smart." What would you say? Is your usual reaction to agree with the compliment or to dismiss it? We have found out that a typical African parent has a habit of dismissing compliments like this. They would rather begin to bring out the flaws that their children have. Their usual response will be, "No, He was just lucky. Or they will say something like, yes, but he still makes a lot of mistakes. Why do some parents do this? Well, culturally, Africans are taught to be humble, and so parents believe that praising their children will lead to overconfidence. This is why our society is filled with young adults who think very low of themselves and who feel uncomfortable to talk about their strengths and ability in front of others. In the competitive and global educational and corporate environment of today, young adults who lack the self-esteem to sell themselves to their clients, bosses, or university during interviews will find themselves at the losing end. Another way through which we develop low self-esteem in our children is through negative programming, through negative self-talk. Let me give you an example. Imagine your son, say 3 years to 4 years old, runs towards a ladder and starts climbing up. What will your usual reaction and response be? Many African parents who tend to be overprotective will start yelling, "Get down! Do you want to fall? Break your leg, then you will know." While we must ensure that our kids don't endanger themselves and teach them about safety, this approach will only destroy their self-confidence and instill a fear in them of doing anything new or challenging. By constantly telling them that they will fall if they start climbing, we are in fact programming the child to learn that he will fall if he attempts to climb any ladder of life. We can rather say to them, "That's right, son, you can do it, go for it." At the same time, a safety-conscious parent will put his hands behind the child to ensure that he is safe. Now, what happens when our children have a high level of self-esteem? When children or teenagers have high self-esteem, they will feel that they are loved, accepted, trusted, and validated by the people they care about, especially their parents. They will have a high level of self-love and self-acceptance because they love themselves. They often want the best for themselves and believe that they deserve it. They will have this "I can do it" attitude. They have the self-belief that they can do well in whatever they put their minds to. As a result, they will tend to exhibit the following behaviors. 1. They will set higher standard for themselves as they believe that they deserve the best in life. They want to get the best grades, get into the best schools, and achieve the very best in whatever they do. They will dare to participate and speak up. They will dare to make mistakes and be able to handle rejections. These are the kids who will volunteer to become student leaders, volunteer to help others, volunteer to represent their class in competitions. They will not be shy to take part in school plays and will always raise their hands in the class. They will be more likely to think independently rather than being influenced by their peers. They will dare to say no when asked to do things that are against their values, as they do not feel they need other people's validation. They will encourage and help others while adopting a win-win attitude in life. Only a person with self-confidence is in a position to assist and manage others, whether in school or in the corporate world. Now, you know how important building high self-esteem in our children is. What are the strategies to build high self-esteem in them? We believe that it is possible for any parent to raise kids to have a high level of self-esteem if they know how to. The good news is that even if our kids are already in their late teens and have a history of low self-esteem, we can still make a big difference if we start right now. Over the last 10 years, we have had the great satisfaction of seeing how wayward teenagers completely turn around their lives when they learn how to love and believe in themselves. At the same time, we see the positive ripple effect these wayward turned good young people have on those around them, especially their families. In my book, Essential Skills to Raise a Brilliant Child, you will discover 10 powerful strategies to build high self-esteem in your children and turn them to unstoppable children. Self-esteem is just one chapter out of 11 chapters of the book. Other things you will discover in the book include strategies to give your child home advantage in learning, some hidden facts about your child that will help you to assist him or her to be the very best that is created to be. You will discover how you can unlock your child's learning geniuses. You will learn some do and don'ts if you want to break into their world. You will discover different memory techniques to help your child be a better student. You will learn 10-step study formula that turns ordinary children to extraordinary performers. You will discover how you can empower your child in an instant with our blueprint of success. Behind every successful child, there is a mother or a father. This book is just 3,000 naira, and I believe this will be one of the best investments you can make on your child. You can call our numbers now to get a copy of this book now. Thank you for watching this video. Please share this video to more parents.